arguing on a Republican side because I'm actually liberal. Like that's
Okay.
why my points aren't making sense. I'm sorry. I'll leave.
Okay. Let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria listed on the TikTok screen. We were just looking for some debates, everybody. Let's get this next individual up here. Please only send a guest request if you meet that criteria listed on the TikTok screen. We are just looking for some debates, everybody.
Sorry, dude. Sorry.
Okay. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria listed on the TikTok screen, everybody. We are just looking for some debates. Yo, what's up? Oh, let's get this next person up here. Only do send a guest request if you meet that criteria listed on the TikTok screen. We're just looking for some debates, everybody. Please only send a guest request if you meet that criteria listed on the TikTok screen. Alrighty. Do give us a quick second, everyone. Mish, thank you so much. I appreciate the galaxy. Thank you. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Let's go to the next individual. Only do send a guest request if you meet that criteria listed on the TikTok screen.
Oh my god, it's
Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria listed in the TikTok screen, everybody. We are just looking for some debates. Yo, what's up?
Hey,
How old are you?
Parker, come get this haircut, bro. I'm in Minneapolis.
Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria listed in the TikTok screen, everybody. We are just looking for some debates. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
I'm 19.
Do you support Trump?
Not really.
Okay. We are just looking for some debates, everybody. Please only send a guest request if you meet that criteria listed on the TikTok screen, everyone. Welcome, everyone, joining in from
what's
Dean
happening?
Stream. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
It's King Blogger. I'm not from Dean Stream, bro. Chill out.
Tracy, thank you so much for the galaxy. Do you support Trump?
Yeah, it's King Blogger.
Okay. If the election were held today, Harris versus Trump, who would you rather vote for?
Definitely Trump. Harris is a fucking asshat. She can't even talk.
Okay. What makes you think that?
That coconut tree bullshit. She doesn't have any stance. Doesn't know what she would do differently than Joe Biden. Disaster borders are disaster peace deal. She's trash.
Okay. So she was in Border Czar. And then what peace deal do you disagree with?
What are you using to say she was not borders are?
There was nothing from the administration that indicated she was this border czar. The
So,
authority that
so
she was granted at the border was to raise private funds for Central American countries to reduce the likelihood of people coming here based upon economic insecurity. So any other authority that you'd be granting to her, I'd love to see any source that justifies that she was granted that authority by the president.
she failed.
No, she actually succeeded with respect to that goal. She raised over $5 billion in private funds for Central American countries to reduce the likelihood of people coming here based upon economic insecurity. And from those particular countries, right, it actually reduced the likelihood of people coming here based upon economic insecurity.
How are you basing that it reduced the likelihood of them coming here? Where are you getting that from?
Yeah, I mean, that's been reported on by U.S. intelligence and government data. I can send you a source on that if you'd like.
So you trust U.S. intelligence?
Yeah.
Okay. So what do you want to debate about? Do you have some policies of Trump's that you don't like?
Of course. I dislike the big, beautiful bill. It cuts over 10 million people off their access to health insurance through Medicaid, over 2.5 million people on average every single month off their access to food stamps, over 420,000 children off their access to free school lunch and breakfast. And most of the tax cuts go to the rich and wealthy, and it adds $3.4 trillion to the debt. Kamala Harris would have maintained all the tax cuts applicable under the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, applicable to income earners under $400,000 a year, and would have expanded the tax cuts for middle-class individuals, for expanding the child tax credit to $6,000 for the first year of a child's life, $3,600 through them being 5 years old, $3,000 through them being 18, a $25,000 tax credit for first-time homebuyers for new homes, a $2,000 cap on pharmaceuticals out of pocket, $35 cap up per month in terms of insulin, right? So policies, those are exact policies she would have supported that benefited the working class, whereas Donald Trump's tax policies actually disproportionately help the rich and wealthy at the expense of the working class people, because his tariff policy disproportionately raises taxes on lower and middle income individuals.
Why didn't they do that
Proportionally.
while they were in office?
What's up?
Why didn't they do that when they were in office?
Because they voted on the tax policy in 2025, and they actually did implement it through COVID emergency policy in 2021 through the American Rescue Plan, and the expansion in the child tax credit actually reduced childhood poverty by 45% when implemented.
Are you pretending that Congress couldn't pass laws in 2021, 2022, 2023, or 2024?
No, they can pass laws then, but not specifically in terms of the overall budget, because I'm talking about the end of when the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act was, right? End of
Why
the
didn't they
particular policies
why
and the
didn't they
tax
pass
proposals.
the legislation that they wanted to pass while they were in office?
Well, because you can't get everything passed in Congress that you want to get passed, because you need to get 60 plus votes.
What makes you think that they would have got it passed if you had elected them again?
Because I think that they're more willing to work with the other side in terms of bipartisan legislation than what we see under the Trump administration.
So I agree with you. I would say Trump is more effective too because he was able to pass his
No, Trump is
policies in his first
less
year.
effective. I'm saying that he'd be
Well,
less
you
likely
no
to
no no
engage
wait
in
wait hold, well hold
bipartisan.
on. You said that they weren't capable of doing it while they were in office. They had 4 years. Trump passed the big
Well, I
beautiful
mean,
bill in his
well, let
first
me give you
year.
an example.
So
Trump wasn't
it's
able
clear.
to. Trump wasn't able to
Wait.
do
Why
everything
are
that
you
he
talking
wanted to
over
do.
me? You
Because I just
steamrolled the
wanted to
whole
clarify this one
conversation.
thing. I just want to clarify this
Well,
one thing.
you said everything you wanted to. So can I speak now?
Yeah, but can I just clarify one thing, and I'll let you speak
I
completely.
mean, I was speaking. Can you wait?
Go ahead. I'll wait.
Okay, so if he was able to pass all of his legislation within 6 months, why is it that they couldn't do it in 4 years? That would be saying that they're less effective.
Trump hasn't passed everything he wants in 6 months, and I think it's also important to acknowledge that everything that he ran on for his second administration acknowledges that he couldn't do everything in his first administration. So Trump's
He
already
passed,
had 4 years as president of the
but
United
he passed the
States.
tax
Kamala
cuts and
Harris
jobs act
wasn't
the first
president of the
time.
United States. So claiming they had 4 years prior to get everything done, meaning that whatever they say they're going to try to get done next isn't something they're actually going to get done, isn't a good argument because we clearly see that that same thing would then be applicable to Trump because Trump already had 4 years.
So you're saying that she was ineffective as president of the Senate.
No, she had the most tie-breaking votes in vice president's history. I'm just saying that they didn't
But
get
she
done
wasn't able to get
everything.
the things that she
Wait,
wanted
I'm
to
just
do done.
you're not paying attention to what I'm saying. I'm saying that they didn't get done every single thing that they want to get done as a person, but they got done a lot. So a historic level of legislation. For example, the bipartisan infrastructure bill, the Inflation Reduction Act, the Chips and Science Act, the PACT Act, the Bipartisan Safer Communities Act, the Violence Against Women Act. Right, all of these things are things that have been expanded under the Biden and Harris administration. That is an unprecedented level of legislation. Now that is good. Now does that mean that they've gotten every single thing that they want? No, it doesn't mean they've got every single thing that they want. But it does mean that they got a historic level of legislation.
Sure. Why were women's reproductive rights shrunk under the Biden-Harris administration?
Because the Trump administration put people in the Supreme Court with the explicit reason of overturning Roe versus Wade.
Does the Supreme Court create law?
They interpret the law.
They interpret the law, right? And so if you had a party leader like Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, who were in charge for multitudes of years, not even including the 60 years they had before that, why didn't they do anything to protect women's rights? Like I don't understand.
So they want to. In order to be able to protect it to a greater extent, they'd have to codify Roe versus Wade into the law, which relies
Didn't they
upon the
do it?
legislative branch, which means they need 60 votes in order to get that done. But they didn't have any Republicans, so we just need to get more pro-choice individuals in the context of the Senate in order to be able to ensure that that one would get passed. So that's the reason. And then in terms
So
of more Supreme Court justices, they actually blocked Obama's nomination near the end of his administration because they claimed that he was a lame duck president. And then with even closer to the election time near 2021 or 2020, they actually, with less time, nominated a Supreme Court justice. So they violated that precedence. So that's
Parker,
an
you're
important thing to
usually
take into
a pretty
consideration.
reasonable guy. So you would agree that they're being less effective by making these excuses, correct?
Who's being less effective?
The Democratic Party, to be specific.
Oh, these aren't excuses. These are the explanations for why. Will these explanations always be the most convincing to people? No, but they are the true explanations. Right? Like, you can't just
You
act
you
like,
think what you just said explains why in 50 years Democrats never codified Roe v. Wade?
yeah, they didn't have the votes in Congress. Yeah, that's literally the
For
reason.
50 years,
Yes.
they didn't have the votes in Congress,
Yeah, and
and
obviously
you
these aren't,
believe
you're
that
not dealing with the same
party
Democrats
is
that you were
effective.
50 years ago. You're not dealing with the same Democrats you were 30 years ago. So Candace, think of the galaxy. So you're obviously dealing with different Democrats. I'm obviously not going to hold the Democrats today the same standard I would individuals in the past as well.
Oh, come on, we gotta admit some shortcomings, bro. That's crazy. That's ridiculous. 50 years, dude. Come on.
Yeah, I would love to be able to get more people right into positions of power in Congress to be able to ensure that we have policies specifically that will address this. Why is that
Had
something that we can't
Congress
acknowledge?
20 times. What do you mean?
I'm confused what your point is.
Had Congress 20 times and they didn't codify Roe v. Wade.
Because
it's almost like
I would say
they're
it would be an
saying that they're
important
gonna
thing for a
protect things.
baseline, but it wasn't challenged prior. Trump is the one that's challenged this as of recent. So
So with the Supreme Court, you can't be effective in president or vice president or as president of the Senate or in Congress or in the judiciary. I mean, where are Democrats being effective is what I'm trying to figure out.
I actually explained exactly how Democrats are effective, and you chose to ignore all of that because that context wasn't helpful to your framing
No,
of Democrats
explained
as
a
like
bunch
the
of
devil.
bipartisan stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
explained a
you're
bunch
just
of
trying to
bipartisan
you're just
stuff.
trying to frame Democrats as devil and not actually trying to engage with what I brought up.
I just think that
Like
they're lying.
I explained it to you, and you purposefully decided to ignore the context that I described to you. Why did you choose to
selling
do that?
dreams. They're selling dreams. They tell you they're gonna do something, and then they say, "Oh, we can't do
I
it."
gave you the
I don't see
actual
Trump doing that.
explanations for why it couldn't happen. Maybe you should stop voting for Republicans that pulled back the legislation that the Democrats put in the first place. Plus, you literally said that Democrats didn't do anything and that they specifically don't have any policies. And
You're gonna blame me?
I explained to you that they had literally unprecedented levels of legislation. The Biden administration passed more legislation bipartisanly than what we've seen under the Trump administration. Trump
You're
acts
gonna
by
blame
executive
me?
order, not by trying to work with people in Congress.
So I was looking straight. You're gonna blame me for? I'm not even 50 years old, by the way. I'm nowhere near 50 years old. You're gonna blame me for Democrats not getting shit done, bro? That's what you're
I
gonna do.
don't think that's what I blamed you for. I think you're
Voting for
strawmanning me right now.
Republicans is fucking stopping Democrats from getting shit done for the last 60
Well, I mean,
years.
when you vote in Republicans, it does prevent Democrats from being able to pass this legislation. Yes, of course.
You don't think at all.
If you're pro-choice, and you vote against the people who are advocating for pro-choice legislation, yeah, that's going to hinder our ability to create pro-choice legislation. I don't think that's very complicated, is it?
I have some questions. Where is the high-speed railway that California's been?
This is a nice pivot.
2006. I'm just.
Is this your best pivot you could possibly think of? You realize that like you couldn't actually address what I said meaningfully in relation to abortion here, so you had to completely pivot to high-speed rail. Like, are you serious?
What you said was a bunch of bipartisan
can you admit
stuff that we always do, infrastructure.
Wait, you're purposefully ignoring any of the relevant context to try to make me seem like a horrible person for no reason.
It wasn't relevant.
What benefit do you get by purposefully misrepresenting my position?
Your position doesn't make any sense. So what I'm doing
it makes sense. So then why don't you ask for clarification, sir?
You believe that Joe Biden can do stuff for Taiwan. They can make the Chips and Science Act. We can do research and development.
That does stuff mostly for the U.S., building up our supply and domestic production of chips in this country.
Are you just going to keep interrupting?
Are you going to even engage with my arguments? You've chose to not engage with my arguments.
You're not making an argument.
I did make an argument.
You're steamrolling a bunch of bullshit.
I didn't at all. I was actually letting you speak. I was letting you speak, but I realize now that you're not productively engaging in conversation, so it seemingly doesn't really matter.
So we're just going to talk over each other? Is that the plan?
I mean, yeah, if you're not going to engage in the conversation with directly in terms of what I'm saying, and you're going to purposely misrepresent what I'm saying, yeah, I'm going to control the conversation to a greater extent, of course. I mean, if you want to prove to me that you can have a productive conversation, you can take into consideration what I'm saying, well, then I won't do that. But if you can prove to me that, yeah, I'm going to take more control of the conversation, because clearly that will make the conversation more productive for the audience, because it's clearly not productive with you.
You want to go back to talking to the 17-year-olds that are just coming up here making noises, or I mean, what are you trying to do?
No, I want to talk to people who actually can justify their standpoints in terms of why they support Trump. You seemingly can't do that.
So Trump, in 2017, was able to pass the Tax Cuts and Job Act. And 2025, as soon as he got in office, he was able to pass the Big Beautiful Bill. And you seem to be.
That's just one piece of legislation. I gave you 5. Wait, can you name 5 things? Name 5 policies Trump passed.
He doesn't need five because the bills are fucking 2,000 pages long. He passed the big
Okay,
beautiful bill.
so
We
are
got
plenty
everything
of the
in one bill.
so are plenty of the
He did it
individual
in
bills
one.
passed under the Biden-Harris administration. Like I explained to you, the Bipartisan Infrastructure Bill, the Chips and Science Act, the PACT Act, the Inflation Reduction Act, the Bipartisan Safer Communities Act, the Violence Against Women Act. You understand all of these policies seem like actually made conditions better for people in this country. These are massive pieces of
I disagree.
legislation.
I disagree.
So you got one bill under the Trump administration. And you're like, he's so great,
Yeah,
he's so amazing, actually. But then like
yeah,
Biden passed like 5 bills like that, and
absolutely.
you don't acknowledge it.
I don't think that you need to pass five bills when your bills are thousands of pages long. You only need one. Like
That
why
makes
the
no
fuck
sense.
why do you need to pass 10 bills when your bills are fucking 10,000 pages long? Why would you ever need to do that?
Yeah, because it depends on how many people you'll get to vote for it. Some people will vote for certain legislation, but they won't vote for others. The more policy and the more legislation that you put into each specific bill, the less you're going to be able to get some people that are willing to vote for it. So obviously separating the votes on certain things can make it more likely or less likely that you would be able to have a greater amount of votes for that legislation.
You support slavery.
No, what the fuck?
But why is it that I should work and the government should take all of my money? I'm trying to figure this out.
I'm not arguing for the government to take all your money.
Well, when Trump passes tax cuts, which you call it tax cuts, I call it people keeping the money they earned. You seem to have a problem with it. You want all of our money and our labor to turn around and be taken from us and spent on whatever the government decides.
My issue is that his tax policy is disproportionately helping the rich and wealthy, and it's not helping the average American.
Does
Democrats advocate for
everything
tax cuts. Democrats advocate for tax cuts for working class people, like I already explained to you, whereas Donald Trump's tax policy is disproportionately for the rich and wealthy. I would
does
rather give a tax
everything
break to working class
disproportionately help
people
the
and the
rich
average
and the wealthy?
American than I would the rich and wealthy.
Does everything disproportionately help the rich and the wealthy?
In terms of Donald Trump's tax policy, yes.
Does everything that the Democrats do disproportionately help the rich and the wealthy?
No.
For example, when you guys subsidize housing, you do Section 8, that money goes into LLCs and corporations that rent out houses. When you guys
But
subsidize
it also
food
provides
and give
housing
out,
for
excuse me,
people
I
who need
wasn't
it.
finished. Excuse me, I wasn't finished. When you guys subsidize food and you do SNAP and WIC and everything else, doesn't all of that money go to corporations? In fact, the people can't even use that money except for at corporations, correct?
So, just because inevitably speaking, there's a trickle up element of the economy that providing goods and services for people in need inevitably will also still help the rich, isn't evidence that our specifically policies that we're advocating for disproportionately help the rich more than it helps the people in need. Inevitably speaking, providing these basic amenities for people in need helps the average person to a greater extent. If it inevitably still helps out the corporations, well, that's the society that we live in. And that actually proves that under our policies, you can still inevitably help out the very rich, and it trickles up to the richest individuals. But under your policy, there's a lack of an actual incentive for it to trickle down because they will, the rich individuals that have the money, right, will do whatever is within their profit maximizing condition, right, which doesn't actually always go down to the workers or help the
You didn't
workers.
answer the question, by the way.
I
I asked you if it
actually blatantly
disproportionately
did. If
helped the
you'd like
rich
to,
and the wealthy.
how did I not answer it?
Because I asked you if it's a yes or no question. Does it disproportionately help the rich and the wealthy? Are they the ones who get and keep
I
that
said
money?
no. Didn't I say no and then I explained?
You're not explaining it. You're
I
explaining the
said no and
opposite.
then I explained.
You're
I'm sorry that
saying
you
you're
didn't
saying no and
get what I was
explaining
saying there.
yes. That's the problem. You're saying no and then telling me, oh, well, yeah, it goes to the corporations and then they get to keep it.
No, I'm saying that inevitably speaking, there's a trickle up that also helps out corporations and large businesses on top of providing basic amenities that disproportionately help working class people. So it disproportionately helps the average person and working class people, although it still helps the rich.
Does it
Like,
help the rich more? Do they keep the money
no.
longer? Do they get more incentives for it? So
I
when
think it
you
helps the
tell
average
us,
person more because it provides basic amenities to them in their life.
and after they use it once, right? The rich people, they go and they put it in stocks and then they get dividends and then they can borrow from those dividends and then they get tax incentives. So it helps them
So
more,
listen to
correct?
this. So under my plan, you have people specifically who get very rich, and then you also have people who have access to their basic amenities. Under your plan, you have people who are super rich, and then you don't have people with services they need. Which one's preferable?
I would say if you would stop taking money from poor people, if you would stop hiking their local taxes, their state taxes, and their federal taxes, they'd probably be able to pay their bills. Most people are who are getting their cars repossessed or evicted or foreclosed on are actually paying more in taxes than they are behind.
Yeah, so you understand that Donald Trump's the one hiking your taxes by imposing tariffs that disproportionately is making
All
people
right,
who are
so
lower and middle
now we have
income
to
pay
do it.
to a greater
Now
extent. You
now we have to
understand that
do
the
a civics
Democrats are the
lesson.
only ones. Democrats, for example, like Kamala Harris, only wanted to increase taxes on income over $400,000 a year, which is not
Now,
affecting the average American, which is not affecting affordability in this country.
now we have to do a civics lesson. Who controls the purse?
That would be the House,
Okay, and who passes the bills and the budgets?
the Senate,
Okay, so how is Donald Trump doing anything to that? And he's not a member of the legislative branch of government.
because he inevitably signs the policy into law.
So Donald Trump is responsible for the taxes over the last
Yeah.
100
Do you want me to
years
give
that
you?
we've been
No.
paying more money.
No, do you want me to give you an example? Like, if the big beautiful bill was passed, if Harris were in office, she wouldn't have signed it into law. Meaning that like the president is a part of the negotiation process because they have to consider what the president would be willing to sign, right? Because otherwise they would have to get the votes necessary to pass the veto, which would be harder
So,
than getting the
so,
president.
so here's the problem. You're making all these excuses for bad policies. All of your policies support corporations
Well, bad
and big
policies.
government. All of them. All of
Can
your
can you give me a
every single
specific
policy.
policy that you
Every
consider bad?
policy, the Chips and Science Act, the
Okay, can you name one
Inflation
provision within?
Reduction Act,
Okay, can you give me
every
one
every
provision within the?
single
Actually, tell
provision,
me what
every
do you not like
provision.
about the Inflation Reduction Act?
I'm not saying I don't like it. I'm just telling you that what you're saying, we need to give money to the people, and then what you're saying that they passed is just giving money to corporations.
No, I told you that it specifically disproportionately helps working class people and people in need, and then it also inevitably will help the rich.
And that's going to help the rich more, right? The
I just
Chips and
I
Science Act.
how many
The
more
Chips
times do
and
I
Science Act.
how
Hold on, let's look at
dishonest do
it.
you have to be? I
Let's look at
purposely have
it,
said
Parker.
multiple times that it
Parker,
disproportionately helps the
relax, man.
average American, right? And you keep saying, "Oh, but it helps the rich more." Do you know what disproportionately means?
I do know what it means, and it
Okay, so
seems
can you
like
tell
you
me what
don't because you.
disproportionately means?
It means that it's affecting one more than the other, and it's affecting the rich. The rich are
Okay,
benefiting much
so then
way disproportionately more,
Leslie, think of the gem gun.
and you're not acknowledging it. And I don't
Not
understand why.
not due to the policies we're advocating for, because the funding disproportionately comes from the rich to be able to afford programs for people who are in need that disproportionately helps the lower income individuals, and helping lower income individuals inevitably does still end up in the long run helping out rich people
Does it help
because
them
there's a
out
trickle up
longer?
element in the economy.
Does it help them out longer? Does it help them out more? If I give you
I
$200
like how
and
many more times
and
do I
I
need to
know
answer
that
the same question? Do you not
you
want to
want to
engage with the points
subsidize
I've mentioned
Walmart,
already?
you want to subsidize Walmart, you want to subsidize the banks, you want to
How dishonest
subsidize
are you?
housing,
You're the one
you want
giving
to
them tax
subsidize
breaks directly.
education, you want to
You are
subsidize
directly giving them
healthcare.
tax breaks.
The tax breaks is their
Yes.
money that they earned. You're
Think of the
talking
bouquet.
about stealing. You're talking about reducing theft.
Donald Trump imposes tariffs, which you're still going to have the same level of taxation. It's just where you're placing the taxation. Instead of
Tariffs are
placing it on the richest
voluntary.
Americans, it's placed on the average American.
Tariffs are voluntary. You
No,
can
they're
just
not.
choose not to send your
Tariffs,
products here, and you can just choose not to buy
so
products
ridiculous. Tracy, think of the
from out
glowing
of the
jellyfish.
country.
So the reason why it's not voluntary is because it affects the overall market, increases the costs. So
It's
you
literally
understand.
voluntary.
Listen, let me
Is
explain.
anybody
Let me
forcing you
explain. Can I please
to
explain?
send your products to
Do
the
you
United
need to
States?
buy products?
You
Yeah, you
don't need
do.
to buy foreign products. No,
No. But do you need to buy products in this country? Like,
no,
do you need to consume?
no.
You don't need food. You don't need housing.
Food comes out of the ground.
Yeah, and where do you buy that food from?
You can get it from out of the ground.
Yeah, from other countries and from this
No, you can
country.
get it from
And
the
if you
ground
increase, hey,
underneath your feet.
all right, I'm just gonna mute you
It's,
because you're not able to have a productive conversation without the mute
you're just
button.
mad because you're wrong.
I mean, do you want to act like this? You just left. Okay. I'd actually rather prefer not to talk to you anyway. If you choose to leave, I don't care. Let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria listed in the TikTok screen. We are just looking for some debates. Yotsup, how old are you?
Hello.
How old are you?
19.
Do you support Trump? Yeah, you have to swipe back into the app. I can't hear you.
One.
Do you support Trump?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah, if the election were held today, Harris versus Trump, who would you rather vote for?
Donald Trump.
Okay, and what's your birth year?
2006.
What month?
July.
Okay. Already have a few people to think that we can move on to our conversation. Megan, thank you so much for the $5. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you very much. I know it's actually ridiculous, isn't it? Desiree, thank you so much for the $5. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Oh, that's great. Good luck to them. Good luck to them. Barbara, thank you so much for the $10. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. I haven't I actually haven't seen him talk about them yet. I'll have to make sure to look that up. Well, thank you so much. Barbara, thank you for the $5 as well. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Maybe we will. Jenna, thank you so much for the $5. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. That's amazing. Thank you so much. Hi to Tracy and Jenna. And then Jessica, thank you so much for the $20. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Of course, Jessica, thank you so much for the kind words. I appreciate it. Thank you. Let me catch up on YouTube real quick. Again, if you're on YouTube, again, hit that thumbs up. Everyone, if you're on TikTok, tap that screen. If you want to support me, as always, Venmo, PayPal, link tree in the bio, as well as the description of the YouTube, as well as you can support me over YouTube Super Chat, as always, and in the pinned comment on my YouTube. And make sure I'm completely caught up on YouTube Super Chat here real quick. Give me a quick second. The L, thank you for the $10. Thank you very much. Mr. Flinch, thank you for the $5. Shane, thank you so much. I really appreciate the... Thank you for the $2. Thank you very much. Morgan, thank you for the membership subscription. And JP, thank you so much. I really appreciate the $5. Thank you very much. That's very true. Jay, thank you for the membership subscription. Meridian, thank you so much for the $5. Thank you very much. Beth with the $2. Thank you very much. And then thank you for the $5 as well. Thank you very much. Alrighty, why do you support Donald Trump?
Well, Kamala's a centrist, and I don't think that centrists really get much done. I'd rather have like a radical leftist libertarian than centrist like Kamala.
So why do you vote for the right-wing fascist? Because you want a more left-wing candidate.
What is a fascist?
Yeah, it's defined by the 14 points of fascism as defined by Lawrence Britt, a political scientist. Do you want me to go through the entirety of the 14 points, or are you familiar with the 14 points?
I'm not entirely familiar, but I think that
I can tell you them.
Sure.
Okay. Powerful and continuing nationalism, disdain for the recognition of human rights, identification of enemies and scapegoats as a unifying cause, supremacy of the military, rampant sexism, controlled mass media, obsession with national security, religion, government intertwined, corporate power being protected, labor power being suppressed, disdain for the intellectuals and the arts, obsession with crime and punishment, rampant cronyism and corruption, and then fraudulent elections.
These just sounds like a lot of buzzwords, like fascist, that people call anything a fascist.
No, I'm giving you a set of 14 different points and saying if someone meets most of these particular points, it would indicate that they are a fascist. I feel like that's a very comprehensive definition. Literally from a political scientist. What's up?
You think that Trump is a fascist?
Yes. So why would you vote for the fascist over the centrist candidate if you are ideologically left-wing?
I'm not ideologically left-wing.
So why did you say you wanted a more left libertarian? Did you mean right libertarian?
No. So what I said is I would rather have a radical leftist libertarian than a centrist. I am more on the side of authoritarian right.
Okay. So why would you prefer, right, a radical left candidate if they are ideologically further from you?
Well, I do agree with them on some things like free healthcare, free college.
That's something that both Harris and Biden agree with as well.
No, they increase our taxes a lot and...
Nope, they wanted to decrease taxes for income earners under $400,000 a year and only increase taxes on income over $400,000 a year.
That discourages rich people.
The radical left will want to increase your taxes more. I just want to let you know. Because we want universal health care, we have to increase taxes to be able to do that.
Yeah, well, we already pay the most out of any country towards healthcare, and it's not free. We have to in our taxes we pay for healthcare.
I don't dispute you there.
Well, I just think healthcare should be free, and we can.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you there. I agree with you, but Harris was advocating for that. Trump is not. Trump had concepts of a plan for healthcare. Yeah, she advocates for a public option.
No, that's different. What is it? Universal.
A public option is universal healthcare.
Is that paid for?
Yes.
You gotta pay. You still have to pay for.
No,
Japan
universal
has
healthcare is paid for.
It's not free. You still have to
Like,
pay.
think about it this way. If you go to school under a public option, but yet there's still private schools in existence, is it free at the point of service to go to public school?
Sorry, I didn't hear that. Can you ask that again?
Yeah, if there's a private or public option for school, yet you can still go to private schools, is it free at the point of service to go to public school?
I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah, so in the same way that it's free to at the point of service to get public school, the same way that it'd be free at the point of service to get the free public option for healthcare.
I don't believe that the liberals are going to do that. They only have been
That's what
slowly
that's
destroying
literally
our
what we advocate for.
economy.
What do you mean you don't think the liberals would do that? Why would you
I
prefer
don't
Trump,
think
who
that
doesn't even
the
believe in
liberal
that?
candidates are doing that.
That's what Harris advocates for. You know that, right?
She advocated for free healthcare.
Yes.
When did she say that?
Literally on the campaign trail, and literally when she was first running in 2020 as well. She's been advocating for this for years.
No, that was Bernie Sanders. He said he was
No,
going to make
no,
free
not just
healthcare.
Bernie. It was also
But
Biden
then-
and Harris. Biden also agrees with the public option. Did you know that?
But Bernie was going to win the election, but I think the primaries were rigged on that part.
Okay, I don't think that there's justifiable enough evidence to claim that.
Okay. Well,
If it was rigged, why did he lose in 2020 against Biden?
because they didn't want him to win the what do you call the opposite of the GOP?
Because the
GOP?
centrist coalition within the party in 2020 was larger than the progressive coalition within the party. That's a fact.
Well, I think that they wouldn't let that happen. I don't.
Who
think
wouldn't let that
anyone-
happen? The centrists? You're saying the centrists?
Yeah,
That's
the-
called
you know-
that's how coalitions work.
I don't think the Democrats would have let.
That
someone,
isn't so. By the way, coalitions forming against you is not called the election is rigged. I know that you probably think that because you're a Trump supporter, but no, that's not how it works.
I think it's a form of rigging.
Nope. That's like a third party candidate claiming that the Democrats and the Republicans rig the elections. Because they specifically get all the votes and
The
third party candidates
elections are
don't get the
much
votes.
Larger scale.
What's up?
The elections are much larger scale. The primaries are smaller. It's easier to go under the radar without people finding out.
You can't say it's rigged because I lost.
Well, I think Bernie should have won. You don't think Bernie should have won?
I do think Bernie should have won. Think of the betting heart. But that doesn't mean that I think that he did win. Does that make sense?
And then a centrist like Biden won. All he
I
did.
ideologically
was
agree
praise
with
him
Bernie
for is the
Moore.
inflation
I
reduction.
ideologically agree with Bernie Moore, while also simultaneously acknowledging that just because someone loses doesn't mean it was rigged against them. Because I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I need
The
evidence to
only
believe
thing
things to be
that
true. I wish like hell Bernie would have won. We'd live in such a better country if that were true. Okay? But I don't see the reason why you're arguing this.
I just think that
So
Yeah, well,
what's wrong with
the
Kamala
things
Harris?
like-
Can you name one policy of Kamala Harris's that you disagree with that she proposed?
one policy that she introduced that I disagree with.
Yes.
I disagree with the whole LGBTQAI plus movement.
Okay. What policy do you disagree with Kamala Harris on?
I don't really know.
Okay, so you have no clue, and yet you're saying that you wouldn't vote for her over the fascist. Like, that's just ridiculous. You need to look into the candidates before you vote. That's just a ridiculous thing to say.
No, I look.
And then, okay,
she-
what do you dislike about the LGBTQ plus community?
I think it's really like promiscuous, lustful. They're giving into their desires. That we shouldn't do stuff like that, you know,
What about being gay makes you promiscuous?
bro. The AIDS rates between them.
Okay, so you say the amount of STDs.
Yeah.
So women should have sex with other women because they're less likely to get an STD if they have sex with women comparative to men because women are less likely to have STDs comparative to men. So women shouldn't have sex with you because you're more likely to give them an STD?
No, it should only be inside of marriage.
Wait, but you didn't actually engage with this point. Still, even so, right, you're more likely to get an STD from a man than you are a woman. So under your view, women should get with other women and they shouldn't get with you because of the fact that it would reduce their likelihood of getting an STD.
No.
Okay, so then I'm confused. You're not actually engaging then, right? Because you
Well,
don't
I think
actually care about the likelihood of getting an STD, do you?
that's just
Because if
one
so,
of
you would be arguing that women shouldn't have sex with you.
the
This argument's always particularly funny because you obviously wouldn't want to make that argument, right?
well, I don't know.
You
I
obviously
think
wouldn't want to make the
it's a
argument
choice
that
who you're
women shouldn't have
attracted
sex
to,
with you, right?
and they do it. I think it's a choice who you're attracted to, and they
It's
just decide
so it's a
who-
choice of who you're attracted to. This one's also a very funny one. Okay, could you choose to find me sexually arousing right now?
Well, you're not my type. Well, you wouldn't be my type if I was
Wait, but
gay.
you said you could choose. You could if you can choose sexual attraction, choose sexual attraction for me then, right? You can do that, right?
Well, if I was theoretically gay, you wouldn't be my type.
Wait, okay, so now you're saying theoretically. Wait, how the hell would you know what your type is if you were gay? That makes literally no sense. One, two, you said it's a choice. So can't you make that choice for that to be your sexual attraction? Or are you arguing that, oh, that's not your sexuality and you can't make that choice?
I don't know. I think they're just a bunch of people, and you're attracted to who you're attracted to, but that doesn't mean you get to do it.
Well, okay, so are you saying that you are attracted to men and you just choose not to
Well,
act upon
everyone
it?
has their desires and whatnot.
I don't have any desires for men.
Not one tiny little shred.
Not at all. Literally, absolutely none.
You've never seen like a picture of Ryan Reynolds and
Not a single time. Not a single time have I been like, wow, I think that he's hot. Not once. I can acknowledge that he's conventionally attractive to people, but
See,
never once have I been like,
exactly.
wow, I find him attractive. Not once in my life. Okay, and by the way, there's nothing wrong with being bisexual. You don't have to repress your attractions for men. There's nothing wrong with it. And being gay in of itself is not promiscuous.
I think you chose to be attracted to women. I think that's just
Nope,
how it is.
I don't actively choose that at all. I just happen to be.
I don't know, man.
So are you saying that you have to actively choose to find men not arousing?
I mean, I don't know.
It sounds more like you're repressing the fact that you do
I'm not
have
repressing
attraction
anything,
towards
man.
men rather than the idea. So that's what seems to be the case mostly in circumstances where people claim that they can choose, because like in the idea that you're claiming that you can choose, that kind of in itself, at least acknowledges that you have attraction towards both and that you're just repressing one. Because I literally, as someone who's straight, I do not have attraction towards men. I couldn't choose to do that if I wanted to, and I can make this more clear to you. Could you ever choose to find your mom sexually attractive?
No.
No, right? You couldn't make that choice. So sexual attraction is not a choice. There, perfect. That's a perfect way to explain it to someone, because you know damn well you can't make that choice. Not possible.
Well, it's not the individual person, it's the whole gender.
Wait, but
Whether you
I'm confused. I mean, you acknowledge that you actively speaking could make that choice for men, but you actively speaking couldn't make that choice for your mom, which tells me you already do have the attraction towards men, right? And
No.
the choice you're making is to repress it, because you can't choose to have the attraction. You can only choose to repress it.
I don't know. These just the desires of the flesh.
Are you trolling me?
No. What?
Okay, what does okay when you say the desires of the flesh, right? Like I don't know what you mean. I don't have these desires. Not everyone has the desires that you're referencing. So then that tells us that's probably not a choice, right? Because I couldn't actively make that choice. You're acknowledging that you couldn't actively make the choice in all of these circumstances.
I don't know, man.
Are you saying that you have like an issue with it because of religion?
Well, yeah, it goes against the Bible, but you don't believe
Where in
that.
the Bible?
And let's see, man shall not lie with another man.
But what verse is that?
Can't remember.
Okay. So the verses that you are referencing for this, one, it's never said by Jesus. Two, right? I think it's referencing things that are not relating to gay relationships that exist today. I think it's referencing like bad conditions where people specifically, right, there would be like harmful relations, not specifically the fact that two gay people are having intercourse. Because the specific word that's used in the Greek, at least for the New Testament verse, that specifically is arsenokotai, referencing like sexual immorality, right? So exploitative conditions of relationships, not necessarily like gay relationships in of itself. That's why, what's it called? God never even at all in terms of Jesus references gay intercourse as being wrong, or even gay marriage.
Well, from your perspective of evolution, it would be totally useless to be with someone from the same gender.
What? I don't.
Because,
Do you think it's? Would you say it's useless to be with someone who's infertile?
I mean, I guess so.
I think that's a ridiculous standard. And by the way, evolution is a descriptive theory of reality. Okay? Not a prescriptive moral perspective. Like, it's not like what I think should be the case, just because it describes what reality is.
Well, how would gay people exist if we evolved to this way? Like, it doesn't make sense.
How do gay people exist if we evolved this way? Because gay
By
people still
men and
reproduce.
women reproducing.
Gay people still reproduce. Right?
Um,
And also, like, people who are bisexual exist.
yeah, well, most of them just get with someone of the opposite gender and have babies.
Okay? You understand that, like, there are members throughout our species, historically speaking, that got with both men and women and still reproduced?
With in our own species.
Yeah, there's been a bunch of different family structures that lead to production of children. Based upon your argument,
Well,
we should be polygamous, right? Because that would be allow for the production of the most amount of children possible.
I don't know.
Okay. Well, then I don't think that's your argument, right?
I don't know, man. It's,
Okay, so
how come
what's your
animals aren't
actual
gay and
argument
stuff?
here? I don't think that you actually think being gay is wrong,
How
right?
come animals aren't gay?
They are.
Which animals?
Thousands of different species are. For example, penguins will be in gay relationships and they'll adopt members of their own species and raise them within the context of those gay relationships.
That's just them being friends.
Nope, that's literally romantic relationships. It's studied.
I don't
There are
believe that.
thousands of different species that exhibit this behavior. Also, just because an animal does something doesn't mean we should do it. Or just because an animal doesn't do something doesn't mean we shouldn't do it.
Well, we should observe them, and I guess that could be a blueprint for how we live. Certain ways.
Wait, sorry, repeat what you just said?
I think certain aspects of animals reveal how we are as humans.
Okay, but they don't describe what's right and wrong. Like, for example, do you see animals in nature speaking on TikTok?
No, because we
No?
haven't.
So is it wrong for us to be speaking on TikTok right now because you don't see that within nature?
No.
Okay. So just because you don't see something within nature doesn't mean it's wrong.
I guess not.
Okay. So what's your argument here? Why do you think it's wrong to be a part of the LGBTQ plus community? Is it just so that you've been propagandized into believing that?
No.
Appreciate the
Specifically,
gem
the
pack.
worst part about it is the T.
Okay, what's wrong with trans people?
Why do you need to change your gender? That doesn't make sense.
It's not changing gender, it's just you're changing your perception of it. Like when someone's specifically gay and people generally understood them to be straight because they were closeted, right? And they come out as gay, they didn't change their sexuality. You just changed your understanding of their sexuality because of the fact that they didn't come out to you.
If gender is made up, then why do
And
we
also,
need to
I have a
transition?
question. Why do you care?
Why do I care? About transgender?
Yeah, why do you care? Why is it such a big deal to you?
I don't think there's any reason to transition. A study from
But
the
why
UK.
does that matter to you?
Well, I don't think. Well, there was a study from the UK and Wales.
Wait, but like,
that
why does
found-
that matter to you?
I'm getting to that.
Okay.
There's a study from the UK and Wales that found out that trans-identified individuals commit sexual assault at a rate of twice the amount of cisgendered men.
Okay. Would you like to provide a source for that? What's the
Yeah,
title?
can I go on Teacup to find it?
Yeah, go ahead. What's the title?
What's the title? I don't know. It's a study from the UK and Wales. Let me find it.
Well, go find that title real quick and then let me know. It's definitely fake. Doesn't exist. I promise you. Wander, by the way, thank you so much for the $50. Thank you so much on YouTube Super Chat for I admire your dedication to engaging with people and trying to make a positive impact on all generations who choose to engage. That kind of effort takes real patience and heart. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate Wandering. Thank you so much. Because of W's for them in the comment section right now. Thank you for the very kind message. Thank you so much. Barbara as well, thank you for the $25 on Venmo. Thank you so much to you. Thank you very much, Megan. Thank you for the $1. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Exactly. One thing they don't take into consideration is voter suppression, such as the gerrymandering that the Republicans do, for example. Joseph, thank you so much for the $2. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. That is very true. That is very true. Thank you so much. Patricia, thank you so much for the $10. Thank you very much. Aaron, thank you so much for the $5. Thank you very much. I tried my hardest, honestly. Manavan, thank you so much for the $17. Thank you so much, Manavan. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. And Justina, thank you so much for the $40. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, I know that one's always a very interesting argument to go into because they're never willing to make that argument. It's so funny. I really love making that argument. Alrighty, everybody. Give them a quick second. If you're on YouTube again, hit that thumbs up, everyone. It should help get it out to more people as always. Thank you, everyone, for joining in from Dean's stream. I really appreciated it earlier. Thank you, everyone, for joining in. I appreciate it. He's going to look for the source, and I promise you he's not going to come back with anything legitimate. JP, thank you so much for the $5. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you very much. That is very true. Absolutely, trans people are totally created in God's image. Thank you very much. And also, there's nothing in the Bible that condemns being trans at all. By the way, Jackson, I won't be able to hear you while you're out of the app.
Okay. Let me see if I can read the title here. So.
You got to memorize it and then come back and tell me the title.
Okay, I'll do that.
Melissa, thank you for the corky. Thank you very much.
All right, so it is rate of sexual offending England and Wales based on 2021 census, prison and FOI data.
Rate of sexual offending in where?
England and Wales.
So not even in the US?
Well, we haven't had these studies done yet, you know.
Oh, okay. Is this from the NHS?
The NHS, I'm not sure.
Sexual offenses in England, Wales overview?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, and where does it say that trans people are more likely to commit acts of sexual violence?
I'm looking at this.
Watch it say that
image,
trans people are more likely to experience it, not that they're more likely to.
No.
It.
It says out of the people imprisoned for it.
Okay. So then, what's the source? Where does it say?
I found the image. I can't find the website.
There's absolutely nothing based upon what I see in the data. It doesn't even mention trans people. Yeah, it literally doesn't even mention trans people. Alrighty, give him a second, everybody. He's got a picture. His source, I'm assuming, is Trust Me.
No. Literally, just look up England and Wales sex offending rates among transgender individuals. You'll see the image. It'll come up.
Okay,
It's
England and Wales sex offender rates.
transgender.
Okay. Is it from the Office for National National Statistics, or where is it from?
Image floating around and.
What'd you
has all
say?
Did you click on the images?
Images? I have to click on
Yeah.
images.
Well, that's where I found it. It was on a Reddit post.
Oh my god. Reddit is not a source.
I don't know,
Alrighty.
man. It looks like you didn't look for it well enough.
Looks like I didn't look for it well enough. Oh, I'm just like waiting for what the source is, and you're telling me you found it from Reddit. Reddit's not a source.
Let me do a little bit more searching.
Okay. Alrighty, we'll give them a minute, everybody. Give them a minute. Reddit is his source, everybody. His source is Reddit meme. Interesting. Yeah, I don't see anything justifying what he's saying. There's literally nothing. So maybe he's trolling? Alrighty. Well,
Fairplay.woman.com.
what is it?
Fairplay.woman.com.
Fairplay.woman.com. What's the title?
Oh, sorry. Transgender women exhibit a similar.
Transgender women exhibit what?
A male pattern of criminality.
Okay. Fair play for women. Is that what it's called?
Yep.
Okay. So this is like this is literally like a you know that this is literally a think tank, an anti-trans think tank.
It's a study.
It's an anti-trans think tank.
What is a think tank?
A think tank, it's a particular ideological group or institution that is like looking to find a certain type of narrative most of the time.
Yeah, well, that's what they found.
Okay, well, where did they even see this?
You are looking at the data right now.
I'm looking at the I'm scrolling. I haven't seen where.
There's a graph.
So the graph that doesn't even have a source. It just says number of prisoners self-declaring as trans.
Yep. And it leads to the conclusion that they commit crime at a similar rate of cisgender men.
And where do you see that?
Well,
Wait, so you said a similar rate. I thought you were arguing that it was more.
that was for sex offense.
Okay, and where is that source?
Again, that was the image that you were not able to find for some reason. But it was a study in England, UK, and Wales. Or whatever.
Okay, and yeah, you don't even know what you're referencing.
Well, I told you what to search, and you still couldn't find it.
I'm here, but it doesn't say anything specifically in terms of what you're referencing, nor does it actually have a justifiable source for any of the claims that it's making. This is just, again, a right-wing think tank.
I think it's a radical feminist think tank.
Yeah,
Have you heard
a
of
TERF think tank?
trans
Trans
exclusionary
radical feminism.
What do you think of them?
Fucking weird.
How, bro?
Because they're hating on trans people for no reason.
No.
Why are you excluding trans people for no reason?
Because they're appropriating womanhood.
No, they're not.
Yeah. Do you believe in gender?
Can you tell me what womanhood is? Yeah, I do.
Someone who has two X chromosomes.
Okay. So you know someone can have two X chromosomes and then have all the rest of their biology be male?
Yeah, those
So
are the
are they a
exceptions, not
woman?
the status quo.
I have a question. Are they a woman?
I think it's up for them to decide.
It's up for them to decide. So if they want to go into the women's restroom, you'd let them do that?
Wait, based on their anatomy, they should go into the men's restroom.
You're saying they should go into the men's restroom?
Yeah, based on anatomy.
Wait, but you just claimed that they're a woman, though. Because you said that they have XX chromosomes, meaning that they're a woman. So
okay,
they
well,
have XX chromosomes. Under your view, they should go into the women's restroom.
This is a very small percentage of the population.
So are trans people. Trans people make up less than 1%. Trans people make up less than 1% of the population.
They make up 1.3% of the New York State population and 3% of ages 13 to 17.
You said what percent of ages 13 to 17?
3%.
And what's your source?
Just look it up.
Okay.
What percentage of youth identify as transgender?
Alrighty.
This is a really easy one.
I mean, you could have looked it up to find the source.
I had it in the back of my head.
Yeah, that's not a source. Between 13 to 17, 3.3%.
See?
Among U.S. adults, 0.8%. Over, this is youth, over 2.5 million adults. Wait, I don't see where it says that, actually. It says 1% of those age 13 or older, actually. I don't know where it said that. Actually, when I clicked on it originally, it said that, but I don't see where that is now, actually. It says 1% of those age 13 and older identify as transgender.
That's not just teenagers, that's everyone. I was talking 13 to 17.
Yeah, it says 13 to 17. Over 2.8 million adults age 18 and older and youth age 13 to 17 identify as transgender in the United States, or 1% of those aged 13 and older.
Yeah, well.
So I was right.
I guess so. So, with the whole intersex thing you want to bring up,
So then why are you making this big deal about trans people?
I think it's on the rise.
What's on the rise?
Being transgender.
No, it's just that more people are being accepting of it to be able to then create communities where people. If you can't choose
your sexuality, why can you choose your gender then?
If you can't, you said what?
If you can't change your sexuality, then why can you change your gender?
They're not changing their gender, and this is just I'm really confused what your argument is, and you can't change your sexuality either.
Well, that's what you argue, but
No,
you think that you can change your gender.
Trans people are not changing their gender. I don't know.
You can't change your sex, though.
What? It's not like a cis person that's just like, oh, I'm going to change my gender now. That's not how it works.
Um, I think it kind of is, though.
It's not.
All the studies show that they commit crimes at the same rate as cisgendered men,
So why does that make it an
trans
issue?
women.
And I've seen no source
Because
that even justifies that, by the way.
because that's just more proof
All
that
the
they are
studies show
women.
you failed to provide me a study. You
Bro, if
gave
I had
me
another
you gave me an
device.
anti-trans think tank that disclaims it
So what's wrong with the think tank?
and Reddit. So I need an actual study, not like a claim. If you actually want to look at the bibliography in my bio, I have legitimate studies on this. You know that, right?
On
Set up
being
by my friend Matt,
transgender?
who's a librarian.
Oh my goodness, Matt. That guy.
Yeah. So actual facts.
Actual facts. Yeah, bro.
You don't want to respond to that? You said all the studies show this. That's not what all the studies show.
You just weren't looking into it at all.
I did. I have a bibliography in my bio, my guy.
My guy. I think all that stuff is confirmation bias.
Says the one who just literally cited an anti-trans think tank. Do you hear yourself?
Dude.
You must not hear yourself.
I don't know, man. It's been a long day.
Okay. Alrighty, man. Well, is there anything Trump could do that would get you to stop supporting him?
I don't know. I feel like burned a bunch of Bibles. Something really terrible.
What about if he dropped a Bible called the Trump Bible?
What?
Yeah, what if he dropped the Trump Bible?
Like a different translation?
Yeah, no, like it's literally called the Trump Bible. What if he dropped that?
The Trump Bible. What
Yeah.
are you even talking
If he created
about?
his own Bible, he changed the Bible, and he made his own one, and called
Did
it
he
the Trump
change the
Bible.
words in the Bible?
He added things to it,
What did he add?
like the Constitution.
He added the Constitution.
Yeah. If he did that, would you still support him?
It's like in a separate page though, so it's like a
Same
two
book.
books in one, right?
Same book. Yep, Trump Bible.
I think it's just like two collections of books though.
Yeah, so would you still vote for him if he created a Trump Bible?
If he created a Trump, but if he put them like throughout inside the Bible,
Wow.
you know,
He'd still support Trump if he created a literal Trump Bible?
no, I'm just
No,
saying.
you wouldn't?
No.
Okay, well, he did do that.
When?
Look up Trump Bible. I'm not trolling. Look it up.
Bro.
Look up Trump Bible. In the meantime, let me thank some people real quick. Allison, thank you so much for the $5. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. It's so ridiculous, isn't it? Tamika, thank you so much. I really appreciate the $10. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Of course. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for the kind words. Olivia, thank you so much for the $8. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Exactly my point. Exactly my point. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. JP, thank you so much for the $5. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Absolutely diabolical.
Bro, are
Alrighty.
you still selling them right now?
Yeah.
Bro, $100 for a Trump Bible. That's a lot of money.
Yeah, would you still support him given that now that you know that it's actually real?
Can you give me a second to thank my fans for the donations?
You're trolling.
No, I'm just kidding. I don't know.
Let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria listed in the TikTok screen. We are just looking for some debates, everybody. If you're on YouTube, hit that thumbs up. If you're on TikTok, tap that screen, everybody. $100 for a Trump Bible is absolutely diabolical, though, isn't it? Yo, what's up? How old are you?
What? 2007? I don't fucking know.
Do you support Trump?
Yes.
Election held today, Harris versus Trump. Who would you rather vote for?
Trump.
Why do you support Trump?
Because he's really cool.
Okay, what makes you think that?
He's just really cool.
Let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria listed on the TikTok screen. We're just looking for some debates. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria listed on the TikTok screen, everybody. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Yeah, I'm 22.
Do you support Trump?
I do.
Okay, if the election were held today, Harris versus Trump, who would you rather vote for?
Trump.
Okay. And what's your birth year?
I was born in August of 2022.
You were born in August of 2022.
Yeah.
So the next individual, only send a guest request if you meet that criteria listed in the TikTok screen. Okay, let's get the next individual, everybody. Alrighty, let's go to the next individual. Only do send a guest request if you meet that criteria listed on the TikTok screen, everybody. Alrighty, do give us a quick second, everyone. Again, if you're on YouTube, hit that thumbs up. If you're on TikTok, tap that screen, everybody. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
20.
Do you support Trump?
Yes.
Election held today, Harris versus Trump. Who would you rather vote for?
Trump.
Okay, why do you support Trump?
I support Trump because of tax-paying American.
Okay, but why do you support Trump? Like, actually.
That is actually why.
Okay, do you just want me to go on to the next person?
I'm sorry?
Can you give me an actual reason?
I mean, he gave you like 20 reasons when he proved you guys.
Oh, that guy totally pays people to do that. What a weirdo. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Hello? So the next individual, only send a guest request if you meet that criteria listed in the TikTok screen, everybody. We are just looking for some debates. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Hello? Alrighty, let's go to the next individual, everybody. Only do send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen, everybody. Again, everyone, we are just looking for some debates. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria, again, listed on the TikTok screen, everybody. Let's get this next individual up here. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
41.
Do you support Trump?
I do.
Why do you support Trump?
Policies over the Democratic policies.
Okay, such as?
No tax on tips. Secured and closed border. Mass deportations of illegal immigrants. How many more do you want?
Okay, I can address those. So no tax on tips was a deduction for tips, not completely no tax. Also, it's a bipartisan policy supported by both sides. By the way, I just want to clarify, you're not driving, right?
No.
Okay, just making sure. And then also, Kamala Harris did want to pass the bipartisan border bill that would have secured the border and would have made the legal process go quicker. So I do think that she wanted to address that as well. And then in terms of mass deportation, to the tune that Trump exists, why would you advocate for his policies in terms of mass deportation?
Well, you were saying that she, wanted to do that, but as the border czar for 4 years, never did that.
She
never even visited the border.
She did visit the border. She also wasn't a border czar. The argument that she was a border czar was made up by Fox News, not by the Biden administration.
I remember
the authority
Joe
that
Biden
she was
clearly-
granted, the authority that she was granted by Joe Biden
can-
was to raise
that's
private
your
funds.
opinion.
Let me
Joe
please finish.
Biden did. Okay, go ahead. I'll let me finish whenever I'm talking, please, too. I mean, Joe Biden did nominate her as the border czar. That was.
No, that's not true. Joe Biden granted her the authority to raise private funds for Central American countries to reduce the likelihood of people coming from certain Central American countries, and that's what she did. She raised over $5 billion in private funds doing so. I don't know where you got that Biden appointed her as the border czar.
I clearly remember in 2021 Joe Biden stating that.
Okay, well, he didn't say that.
Okay, well, that's your opinion. I have mine. But I like
No,
again,
there's
I
literally no
remember-
clip of him saying that.
Okay, that's your opinion. But okay, can you? Well, how about? I mean, I support Trump, but you support Kamala. How about some
Kamala.
Democrat policies that are going to benefit America that you think that even in the midterms or the next election are going to change this country in a positive direction?
Yeah, $6,000.
Convince me why I should vote Democrat, because I see nothing. I see not one leader in the Democratic Party. If you're going to say Gavin Newsom, Pete Buttigieg, or Josh Shapiro, or I mean, who do you got? Who's your front runner? Who's your candidate for U.S. President 2028? Because I don't see anybody that clearly has a vision of fixing anything in this country remotely at all.
Well, ideologically
Just
speaking,
Trump's bad. Trump's bad. That's what you're running on.
no, I mean, if you watch my streams, you would know that I say a lot more than that, and that people run on a lot more than that.
You say
can give
that.
a
I
specific-
understand that.
Let me know when I
I'll
can
give you
speak.
that. I'll give you that credit. You don't say that, but the Democratic Party, CNN, any of the left-leaning, liberal media, what policy are they, willing to engage with that is going to fix America? Because I don't see any. That's why I'm curious, from your perspective, what is out there? What is going to, change America for the benefit? Because DEI sure as didn't. These things that
Are you just going to rant? Am I going to be able to speak?
Sure,
You
I'm
asked me
sorry,
a question,
just
and I
tell
just
me you
want to know
wanna
when I
talk.
can
Tell me
answer
you wanna
that
talk.
question without a response.
Go
Yeah.
ahead. Tell me. My apologies.
Yeah, I was in the middle of my statement, and you just cut me off. Okay, so one,
That's great.
Democrats do run on things. I can give you countless examples of Democrats that do. Every single person that you specifically mentioned does have unique policies they do advocate for outside of disagreeing with Trump. Secondly, in terms of specific policies, like for example, with Kamala Harris, she had a $6,000 child tax credit for the first year of a child's life, $3,600 to them being 5 years old, $3,000 to them being 18, a $25,000 tax credit for first-time home buyers for new homes, a $2,000 cap on pharmaceuticals out of pocket, $35 per month cap on insulin. We can point to a universal healthcare policy that she advocated for. I can give you countless other examples. Those are just a few. Those are specific policies that she advocates for, independent of disagreeing with Trump.
Okay, yeah. Unfortunately, that doesn't benefit any of the major demographic of voters, and that's why a lot swung towards Trump. I mean, there's nothing there, and they felt no connection that Kamala is anybody that has
Hey,
spoke truth.
I have a question. Are you in a car that's driving?
I'm sorry, I'm outside. I'm on my lunch break.
Then why did I hear a turn signal, dude?
You don't hear a turn signal.
I swear to God, I did.
I'm literally standing out on smoking a cigarette on my lunch break, so apologize.
Okay. I mean, I don't know why I would have heard the turn signal then.
Is there...
That sounds like you're in a car. Why are you lying to me? Yeah. Yeah, he's just sitting out there doing nothing. Can hear the car, hit something. Come on, bro. Let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria listed on the TikTok screen. And by the way, lunch break is 7:30 p.m. I guess it technically, it could be taking, a break, but I don't know why you call it lunch. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Yeah, I understand the night shift, but it still wouldn't be called lunch, right? I guess technically you could I guess maybe you could call that night like a lunch for the night shift. I guess. Yeah, how old are you?
Blocking tax-paying Americans is going to be a big L.
No, I think that's actually a W. I think everyone in the chat actually is going to be really happy that I did block him. Is he mad? Is he mad? Like he's getting his little minions to try to come into my stream because he's mad that I blocked him. Well, don't worry. I just went onto the guest box and found your other account that you joined as, and I decided to block you again. So there you go. I hope you're happy with that one, buddy. Make another new account. Do it. Do it. Make another one. What's about you?
What's going on? I'm 20.
Do you support Trump?
I would vote for support Trump. I'd vote for him tomorrow.
Okay. Why do you support Trump? Actually, what's your birth year?
March 16, 2006.
Okay. You said you're how old again?
20.
Okay. Why do you support Trump?
Damn. But
I ask everyone those questions.
Okay, my fault. There's a couple of reasons to support him. I mean, no tax on tips because I didn't see Kamala do that, and I'm in the hospital. How you pronounce it again?
Just say Harris.
Harris. Yeah, my fault. But yeah, I didn't see Harris support that ideology, and then
she did.
Okay, we'll get into that, but I'll say some of the policies. Support the border policy, and not for like the fact of I don't like illegal aliens in the country, but I've seen a lot of stories of like I'm on Twitter a little bit, so I've seen a lot of videos of like illegal aliens killing people as innocent Americans, young children, and I think that's terrible. Obviously, I think anyone.
I don't know how
thinks
by a
that's
video
terrible.
you'd be able to identify that they're undocumented. Also, in terms of these situations, say that we specifically are referencing this, undocumented immigrants are multiple times less likely to commit violent crime, drug crime, property crime in the country comparative to natural-born U.S. citizens. So the argument that they're like bringing a high disproportionate level of crime to our country is just false.
Gotcha. And the reason I could tell from the videos because the caption and their source in the comments, and it shows articles of the children that were killed in those. But I don't have any of those on standby. So,
but again,
maybe
I will acknowledge circumstances like that, and of course, in those circumstances, we want to deport and go after those that have committed violent crimes and bad crimes like that. And I think that we'd be able to do that to a greater extent if we aren't going after people who have just come here for a better life. If we provide them a legal pathway, that'd be the best way to be able to address this.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think there's definitely better ways to go about it, and I agree. Like, I don't think. Listen, for the most part, I think 95% of illegal aliens are good people, hardworking people, and I mean, I don't know in terms of paying their taxes, but I personally, I'm not gonna get too deep into that, but I don't know the percentages at all with that. But I think now
they do pay taxes. Plus, if you provide them a legal pathway, they'd pay even more.
Okay, but yeah. So that's I said two policies so far, right? Border policy and no tax on tips.
Yeah, and like, what do you like about his border policy? Because he actually undermined a bipartisan border bill because he didn't want Democrats to get a win on the border.
Well, I liked the fact that for his first term, expanding the border wall and doing a big project to help expand it. When he was doing that, I saw a big decrease in numbers from I think it was
the bipartisan border bill would have built more wall than Trump built under his entire administration.
Oh, sorry. We good? Okay, there we go. What did you say again? What was it? One more time? Sorry.
So I got you.
Well, I liked the fact that for his first term, expanding the border wall and doing a big project to help expand it. When he was doing that, I saw a big decrease in numbers from I think it was
the bipartisan border bill would have built more wall than Trump built under his entire administration.
You did that quick, damn. Okay, but So you said the bipartisan border will help expand the wall, you're saying?
The bipartisan border bill would have built more wall than what Trump built under his entire administration. And that's the
Okay, I
bill that
got
Donald
you.
Trump called for people in Congress to undermine so that Democrats didn't get a win on the border.
Okay. Do you have a source on standby for that?
Yeah. Look up Trump says blame it on me if border bill fails.
Okay, cool. If I swipe out the app for a minute.
Yep. I won't be
Alright,
able to
cool.
hear you while you do so, just letting you know.
Alright, sounds good. I'll be right back.
Tony, by the way, thank you so much for the $5. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Of course, I always will. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Oh, that's actually really funny. That's really funny. Well, thank you very much. Give some W's for them in the comment section. Jolene as well. Thank you for the $1. Thank you very much. I'll have to make sure to look. Well, thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. As well as I think I'm fully caught up. Again, if you're on YouTube, hit that thumbs up. If you're on TikTok, tap that screen to help get it out to more people. We've been on live for an hour and 30 minutes or so, meaning we have like 2 hours and 30 minutes left on the stream, everyone. Just letting everyone know, I do plan to be live later in the day tomorrow as well. Just letting everyone know. Just letting everyone know. Do give it a quick second for this guy to come back with the information that he's looking for. Do give him a quick second, everybody. Do give him a quick second. And if you're on YouTube, hit that thumbs up. If you're on TikTok, tap that screen, everybody. And if you're MAGA, you meet that criteria that I always list here on the TikTok screen, everybody. Send a guest request if you do want to debate me. Send a guest request if you do want to debate. Alrighty. He'll never find it. He probably won't, to be honest. Oh, he left, actually. Alrighty, let's go to the next individual. Only do send a guest request if you meet that criteria listed on the TikTok screen, everybody. We were just looking for some debates. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Hello? Okay, let's go on the next individual, everybody. Only do send a guest request if you meet that criteria on the screen. Melissa, thank you for the Night Star. Thank you very much. Let's get this next person up here. Do give us a quick second, everybody. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Hello? Okay, let's go to the next individual, everybody. Only do send a guest request if you meet that criteria listed on the TikTok screen, everybody. We are just looking for some debates, everyone. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Hello? Okay, let's get this next individual up here. Do give us a quick second, everybody. Only do send a guest request if you meet that criteria listed on the TikTok screen, everyone. Thank you for the confetti. Thank you, thank you. Melissa as well. Thank you for the corgi. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
35.
Do you support Trump?
I do.
Election held today. Harris versus Trump. Who would you rather vote for?
Trump.
Okay. And why do you support Trump?
Primarily, I just think he represents the country the best to the rest of the world leaders. And his family seems to be really intact and well managed. So.
Okay. Is that why he cheated on every single one of his wives and he had to divorce multiple times? Doesn't seem like his family's very well intact.
Well, I know his children really love him and his grandchildren, and the wife thing. I'm not sure how. You never know how that always works out. Did he file for the divorce?
It doesn't matter. He's been separated multiple times, so it doesn't seem like his families have stayed together very much. So it's not just one time, multiple times. And then also, in terms of, you think he represents our country the best of world leaders. Why do you think that, given that he's destabilized our relationships with our allies all around the world?
Oh, you would say he's destabilized them?
Yeah, absolutely. They're less likely to want to help us now because of the actions Trump's engaged in, such as threatening the annexation of Greenland, such as threatening pulling out of NATO, such as throwing tariffs on a bunch of countries all around the world.
No comment.
So isn't that like an important thing for how other countries are viewing us?
I would imagine they view us as having a strong position, so Greenland didn't like the idea.
Neither did all of our allies in Europe. So, do you think that we were closer to them under the Biden administration? Because I think that's very much the case.
Closer to
our European
Greenland?
allies?
I don't know. I don't think we were respected as much as we are.
We were respected to a greater extent, yeah.
Even after the way he pulled out of the Middle East and stuff.
Out of Afghanistan? Yeah, that was the one set up by Trump.
That when they exited like that was set up by Trump.
Yeah, the original agreement was set up by Trump. It was extended under Biden to give them even more time. And I've never heard a single thing that Biden could have done differently that would have prevented this from happening.
Yeah, I guess I'm not that informed. I don't think Trump has that much of an impact on everyday lives internally. I think he's just a face to the rest of the world, really. I think that's what his role is, especially at peacetime.
Okay. So you say that you think he's good for peacetime. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying during peacetime, his authority is not, it's at its lowest ebb.
Well, you understand that he's brought us to war, right?
Well, only Congress can do that.
No, Trump has brought us to war himself. He started the war with Iran. He's admitted that it's a war himself.
He can get the advice and consent.
He refers to it as a
war.
I know, but he refers to it as a war. They're conducting themselves as if it's a war.
Well,
so is Iran? Is Iran conducting them?
COVID.
Is Iran conducting themselves as if we're in a war?
Well, it's a military use of force.
It is. He absolutely is.
Well, we've had a war on drugs. Well, I mean, would that mean the police become militarized?
What do you mean?
I mean, we had a president who started a war on drugs. I mean, we have a war on COVID. Does that mean the doctors become militarized?
I understand that you're saying that they have different notions of war, but clearly in this sense, it's a literal notion of war. Like, clearly in the sense that we're talking about with Iran is a clearly literal sense of war, whereas the notions of war that you're referencing weren't literal and rather figurative notions of it.
And neither is what you're referring to. You're calling it a war, but it's not, because only Congress can declare war.
Sir, the Trump administration has referred to it as that way. They're conducting themselves as if it's a war. So is Iran. The fact that you're disputing, the fact that people are still disputing it as a war is like the most annoying thing ever. Like you're just being frustrating for no reason because everyone knows it's a war. Like honestly, it makes me want to just go on to the next person because I don't take you seriously.
But Congress
I don't take you seriously at all when you don't acknowledge this. I understand that Congress declares wars. I'm not disputing you there. I understand the point you're making. What you're not understanding, though, is the entirety of the administration is conducting themselves as if they're already in war. I think that we can establish that the war is already taking place without saying that Congress has declared war.
Well, if you want to say that, you can say that, but that's not what is officially declared.
So what's happening then, under your view?
It would be a military use of force, or
so then what do you support that?
Well, I want to see the president do well.
Do you okay? Is that answering my question?
I don't know about international geopolitics.
Okay, so then you can't answer my question.
Right. Thanks for having me on.
Okay. I don't know why people still are doing that. It's like the most annoying thing ever. Let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria listed in the TikTok screen, everybody. We are just looking for some debates. Let's get this next person up here. Only do send a guest request if you meet that criteria listed on the TikTok screen. Do you support Trump?
Hello. Am I here?
Do you support Trump?
Yes, I support Trump, but I'm not MAGA.
And what's your birth year?
2007.
And what month?
I was born October 5th.
Okay, and why do you support Trump?
I support Trump because I think it's important for us as American people to always back up our president, no matter what they're doing, no matter how they're doing it. Because we need a strong leader in order to be a strong country.
Okay. If the election were held today, Harris versus Trump, who would you rather vote for?
Harris.
Oh, okay. Let's go to the next individual. Only do send a guest request if you meet that criteria listed on the TikTok screen. We are just looking for some debates, everybody. Only do send a guest request if you meet that criteria listed on the TikTok screen. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
27.
Do you support Trump?
Well, I just wanted to say, because
Michelle, thank you for the galaxy. Thank you very much. Let's go on the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria listed on the TikTok screen. We are just looking for some debates. Okay. Let's go on the next individual. Only do send a guest request again if you do meet that criteria listed on the TikTok screen, everybody. Again, we are just looking for some debates. Alrighty. Let's get this next person up here, everybody. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Okay. Let's go to the next individual. Only do send a guest request if you do meet that criteria listed on the TikTok screen, everybody. Alrighty, do give us a quick second, everyone. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Love you, bro.
Okay. Let's go on the next individual. Only do send a guest request if you meet that criteria listed on the TikTok screen, everybody. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Have you heard about what's
Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria on the screen. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Fuck yourself, you.
Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria on the screen, everybody. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Hey, Parker. I'm 18.
Do you support Trump?
Yes.
Okay. And what's your birth year?
2007, 10/14/07.
Okay. Election held today, Harris versus Trump. Who would you rather vote for?
Trump, all the way.
Okay. Why do you support Trump?
So, all right, can I ask you a question? Because I've been here for probably around 15, 20 minutes now, and I've been hearing you talk about all of this nonsense, to be quite honest, and the people in your chat are typing absurdly. And to be honest, I think it's not a matter of do you support Trump or Kamala Harris, and I think it's more or less, do you want the world to blow up, or do you want to have a roof over your head? Because you speak so much on Iran and all everything on that's going else in the world, these third world countries, NATO, right? When, like, at the end of the day, we are NATO.
Think of the galaxy.
Yeah.
Okay.
We are NATO, Bradley.
Okay. I'm confused. Your point is we're not the only ones in NATO. Along with the idea that it's not, you're going to have everything blown up if you vote for Harris. So I don't know what your argument is there.
No. Okay,
also,
sorry,
you keep covering your microphone, and if you'd like to stop doing that, that'd be great. He left. Okay. Let's go on the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria listed in the TikTok screen. We are just looking for some debates. Only do send a guest request if you meet that criteria listed in the TikTok screen. If you want to support me, as always, Venmo, PayPal, link tree in the bio, as well as the description of the YouTube. As well as you can support me over YouTube Super Chat, as always, everybody. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Kike fag.
Oh, that's the person who was screaming at me. Let's go to the next person. Think of the bouquet. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
I'm 18.
Do you support Trump?
Fuck yeah.
If the election were held today, Harris versus Trump, who would you rather vote for?
Trump.
Oh, wait, hold up. Send a guest request back. I think I for some reason I heard fuck Trump. Let's get this next person up here. Only do send a guest request if you meet that criteria in the screen. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
I'm 18, dude.
Do you support Trump?
Yeah.
Election held today, Harris versus Trump. Who would you rather vote for?
Trump, and my second pick would be Gypsy Crusader. Do you know who that is?
Let's go to the next person. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria on the screen. That's a literal Nazi. So, what's how old are you?
18.
Only do send a guest request if you meet that criteria on the TikTok screen. Everybody, we are just looking for some debates. What's up? How old are you?
Hey, I'm 23.
Do you support Trump?
I do. I support his war in Iran.
Okay. If the election were held today, Harris versus Trump, who would you rather vote for?
I think that's a ridiculous question because he can't serve a third term.
Yeah, I understand, but would you like to answer the question as if he could? Or as if
As if
that
he
hasn't
could,
happened yet?
as if he's served 2 terms already.
Okay. I don't know why you have to be difficult. I'm just asking you to ask a question of like, who
I'm
would
not
you
being
rather
difficult.
prefer
I
if
mean,
the
you're
election were
asking-
held today?
Well, I voted for Harris.
Okay. And would you vote for Harris if the election were held today?
No.
Who would you rather vote for?
Trump.
Okay. So why do you support Trump?
Well, I think that the preemptive strike in Iran was like extremely necessary, and it wasn't going to happen under a different president.
I agree that we wouldn't have struck Iran, but I don't think it was preemptive because I don't think that it would have been applicable to, or I don't think the idea that they were going to strike us was applicable. There was no U.S. intelligence indicating that.
Well, I mean, people in the global studies field have been debating whether or not to strike Iran in the nuclear sites for decades, literally. This is not a new debate of any kind.
That doesn't matter. I don't see how that was a relevant point.
Are you saying we shouldn't have struck Iran?
Absolutely.
And why should we not have struck Iran when they were currently developing nuclear weapons?
Because the JCPOA was more effective at preventing them from developing nuclear weapons comparative to what we see Donald Trump doing.
The IAEA wasn't being allowed into Iran to even inspect things. They would just show them.
It was
random
under
sites.
it was under the JCPOA.
Okay, well, I mean, that's just an extremely debatable subject that we can go
It's
into
not.
if you want. On whether or not
Trump signed off on the fact that they were.
And then he decided that he was wrong. Did he not?
No,
has he not
he
said
decided to
since then
pull
that
out
was
because he didn't
incorrect?
like the fact that they got rid of the sanctions. It wasn't
So then
because
why
they
do
weren't
you think we're
upholding it.
striking Iran? Why do you think we're striking Iran then?
I think partially because Trump wants to distract away from the Epstein files. I think partially because Trump's a shitty negotiator. I think partially because Trump's a pathological liar. I think partially. I'm
sorry to interrupt. Sorry.
Go ahead.
I think distracting from the Epstein files is ridiculous. Everybody already knows Trump is involved in the Epstein files. Nobody's stopped talking about this. Like I don't understand what kind of distraction that would be.
Do you understand that there's been a significantly less amount of talking about it since the start of the war with Iran?
A significant to 80%? Like I don't understand. Like
yeah,
what,
I mean, I think you've acknowledged this at least on the internet yourself, right? You acknowledge
Yeah,
that people
I
are
believe-
less likely to have that conversation now.
No, I don't think that's true. I think people are having that conversation, and it will keep happening.
Okay,
And
I think
there's
that's a little
all
bit
sorts of
dishonest
stuff.
on your behalf not to
I mean,
acknowledge
if you-
that there's
if you
been a
follow,
distinction.
like,
I think that
if you follow
regardless
news,
of
if
your
you-
position, even if you think that their intention wasn't to do this, you can still acknowledge that, of course, there's been a greater or lesser amount of people that are specifically talking about this. I don't know why you would dispute that fact.
A lesser. I mean, what are you? You just like scrolling through Twitter? Do you see fewer posts? Like, what do you even define as less people? If you read the news, if you read like the Wall Street Journal or New York Times, you'll see people. Yeah, Melania just brought it up. People all over the place are talking about everyone involved in the files. Jamie Dimon, all
Social
these
media
people.
searches and mentions.
What are you saying? Social media searches and mentions.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Social media searches and mentions for Epstein files.
Are you looking that up? I don't understand.
No, that's what I'm telling you we look at to be able to determine the difference.
Okay, so based on social media searches and mentions, the Epstein files aren't being talked about. I don't care about
As
social
much,
media.
yeah.
I care about in government people talking to judges, to Congress, to the Senate. That's where it really matters. That's what gets people into jail.
Okay, well, has anyone gone to jail?
Well, I guess Jeffrey Epstein went to jail and then he died. But
So since the release of the Epstein files, no one's gone to jail?
wasn't Prince William or whatever his name is, Prince
Andrew?
whatever,
That's not even
Andrew?
in this country.
I mean, is that not a high profile person?
I'm
who we
talking
would
about
think
people
is-
who are in this country.
I mean, I don't know. Are you saying no? I'm not sure what that answer is.
So then, like, the point would then be is that why is the Attorney General not doing that?
Why is the attorney? Well, the attorney general was like recently replaced, so we'll see what the new attorney general does.
Yeah, they said that they're done releasing all of them because all of the 3 million extra files they were going to release are actually not even real. That's what he said.
So they've been going back and forth on this. Obviously, this is a mistake, but it doesn't have to do with the biggest issue on the table. Like, I can think this is despicable. I can think it's horrible, but I can also think that it's an even more important thing to stop Iran from developing nukes. And I don't think that's like a
You
barbaric.
understand that JCPOA did that to a significantly greater extent. The Trump administration has not prevented them from getting nukes by literally going to war with them. Plus, according to U.S. intelligence, according to Tulsi Gabbard, who testified in front of Congress, they have not been building up the enrichment of uranium since the original strike last year.
Okay, well, I guess, like, I don't know what to say. I honestly, I don't support Trump at all. It's just trying to argue for him.
Okay, let's go to the next individual, everybody. Only do send a guest request if you meet that criteria listed on the TikTok screen, everybody. We are just looking for some debates, everyone. We are just looking for some debates. Riley, thank you for the 13 seconds. I actually haven't seen. I'll have to make sure to look them up. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. Sabrina as well. Thank you for the $10. Thank you very much. I've been trying recently. Holly, thank you for the $1. That is. Thank you very much. Juliana, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you for the $5. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Gabriella, thank you so much for the $3. Thank you for the kind words. Thank you so much. That's amazing. Thank you so much. Michael as well. Thank you for the $10. Thank you very much. That's great to hear, Michael. W's for Michael in the comment section. Marianne, thank you so much. Really appreciate the $15 on PayPal. Thank you so much, Marianne. I have some more people to thank as well, but let's make sure to get on to this next person here real quick. Please, everybody, only do send a guest request if you meet that criteria listed on the TikTok screen. I do also need to go to the box. If you send a guest request purposefully, you do not meet that criteria on the TikTok screen, I will block you, just letting you know, everybody. Only do send a guest request if you meet that criteria listed on the TikTok screen. If you purposefully send a guest request, you don't meet that criteria on the screen, you will get blocked. Alrighty, let's go into the next individual. Only do send a guest request if you meet that criteria listed here on the TikTok screen, everybody. Let's get this next person up here. Let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria listed in the TikTok screen, everybody. We are just looking for some debates. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
50. I'm 58.
Do you support Trump?
I do.
Okay, if the election were held today, Harris versus Trump, who would you rather vote for?
It'd be Trump.
Okay, why do you support Trump?
Well, I just think he's, at this time, he's just the best person that we could have in the leadership position.
And what makes you think that?
What do you not support him?
Well, it's a long list. He was held civilly liable of sexually abusing women. He bragged about walking into the changing rooms of naked women while they're changing without their consent, where two 18-year-olds came out and said there were 4 girls as young as 15 years old in these changing rooms. He said he would date a 10-year-old girl in 10 years. He said he had sex in common with his daughter. Said he had Howard Stern calling his daughter a piece of ass. Said he had, his daughter is voluptuous, which means curvy and sexually attractive, and said he'd be dating his own daughter if it wasn't his daughter. His tax policy disproportionately goes to the rich and wealthy, and he increased taxes on working class people by imposing tariffs disproportionately, which negatively impacts lower and middle income individuals disproportionately, along with the fact that he pardoned violent rioters who beat police officers, and sent false states of electors to electoral college to cast Trump votes when he didn't win to try to steal the election in 2020. He called for the execution of some Democrats because they said to follow the law and to not follow unlawful orders. He called for the termination of all rules, regulations, and articles, even those found in the Constitution. He's violated multiple constitutionally protected rights, such as the First Amendment, the Second Amendment, the Fourth Amendment, the Fifth Amendment, the 14th Amendment. He's threatened to violate the 22nd Amendment. I can go to countless ones.
The first litany that you read off, that was you're talking about his the way he talks sexually. I mean, yes, it's bad what he says. I understand that, but do you really think that he means everything that he says? Honestly.
Well, I don't think he means every single thing that he says, but the things that I brought up, yeah, I do think that there were things that he was saying.
You really think that he said he wanted to date his daughter? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, I can play the audio of him saying that.
I know, but I'm saying, do you really believe that? Deep down in your heart, you really believe that?
Yeah.
You do?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I mean, I don't know how old you are. Like I said, I'm 58, so I mean, I've got daughters that are 25 years old. I think what he was saying is he's proud of her looks, and I know that might sound weird, but I say the same thing sometimes. I don't say it like that, but I say that they're very good-looking women. They
Yeah,
are.
I think there's a
I'm
big
proud of them.
distinction between saying that you think that your daughter is beautiful, or specifically like complimenting your daughter within that particular way, and saying that you'd be dating your own daughter if it wasn't your daughter. I think there's a difference in sexualizing your daughter versus
I,
just complimenting your daughter. Like those
I
are
think
very
that's his
big
way.
distinctions.
That's his way. I think that's his way of complimenting. But that's
I don't think
like I
that should
said,
be a way. I don't think that should be a method of complimenting your daughter that's acceptable. I think that that clearly should not be acceptable, especially when he's
so
called
that
his
right
daughter
there. So
voluptuous.
you're
When he
saying that
said yeah
that's
to Howard Stern, calling his daughter a
well,
piece of
she
ass.
is. I mean, but I mean,
Voluptuous just means
what?
curvy and sexually attractive. Like
No,
I'm sorry, but like
yes.
no one's no normal dad's gonna say that about their kid.
Okay. What I'm saying is though is that so that should disqualify him from being the president of the United States. That's what you're
Yeah,
saying.
I mean, all of these things in consideration because you're also taking into consideration that he sexually abused women, that he's admitted to sexually exploiting women, that he
I'm
specifically
not for sure about
literally said he would date a 10-year-old girl in 10 years. He has horrible policies that have disenfranchised working people in this country. He's
so
pardoned
basically, he's
violent
saying he
rioters
dated
who beat
20
police officers and
about well,
domestic terrorists.
yeah. I mean, you got your own little talking points that you're reading off, and you're saying them exactly the same way every time. So I know it's not memorized. I know you got them wrote down. What I'm saying is though,
None of that
to
was
go back
written
to
down. That was all off the top of my head.
okay, all right. Well, say read it again. I bet it's the same. I bet it's the same way. I bet it's
You understand that
actually
you
in
can
order.
memorize something?
Sure, if you say them enough. But you also realize that if you say things enough, you start to believe them so deep down inside that you could be looking at it the wrong way. But yet you just memorized it, and you know that you're supposed to memorize it that way. And then
No, it's that I have it
I don't
memorized
know.
because I've had these conversations a lot and I know what I'm talking about. So if you want to dispute any point of what
Well,
I'm saying, you can
well, I mean,
dispute
I'm
it.
just saying.
Just
Well,
because I
sure. I
memorize
mean,
it doesn't mean that it's incorrect as well.
but
You can
you're right.
memorize true information.
That is true, and you can also memorize false information.
Yeah, but can you
Okay, so
demonstrate
how
that what
about
I said was
well, I mean,
false?
well, let me ask you this: you said something about the 10-year-old girl, right?
Yeah.
Like I say, all right, you said that he would date her in 10 years, right?
Yeah, he said he would date a 10-year-old girl in 10 years.
Right. So actually, he's saying he dated a 20-year-old. He didn't say he was going to take a 10-year-old out. He's saying he's going to wait till she's 20. Is that right?
Okay. Would you be okay with him going up to a kindergarten classroom and say he'll be dating the 5-year-olds in 15 years?
I mean, as long as they're 20 years old when he does it.
I think that's a ridiculous and absurd thing to say. I don't think it's
I
acceptable
think
for
that's. I
old
think.
60-year-old men to go up to 5-year-olds and 10-year-olds and say he'll be dating them in 15 and 10 years. I think that's absurd. I think that's sexualizing little kids. I think that's disgusting.
I think that the sexualization of little kids is. I think we passed that a long time ago. I mean, yeah, if we could get onto that and
I mean,
start
there's that, and
talking
also
about
that he's
that.
like literally hasn't released all of the Epstein files when legally obligated to do so. He's literally credibly accused by a minor in the Epstein files who got a settlement with the Epstein estate. So, I mean, like, if you
Well,
want
I
to talk
mean,
about his inappropriate behavior with minors, I think that's very clear. It's not just
I
this
don't
scenario,
think
it's
you
also this
don't think.
scenario.
Well, let me ask you a question though. You really believe that he has done something with a minor, and no Democrat, and Democrats have to know, they have to, if he did something like that. I mean, there's no way that they would let him stay in. I mean, there's
I
absolutely
do
no way.
believe that Donald Trump has done that. Absolutely.
All right, so what? All right, what I'm getting at is this: you're telling me that there is no Democrat that is going to come out and say that, even though they got proof that he's done that.
So, no, there's literally a credible accusation from a minor in the Epstein files who got a settlement with the Epstein
So,
estate. I'm not saying
right,
there's
what I'm
no
saying
credible
is,
accusation against Democrats at all. Of course, I can call
no,
out a
no, no,
Democrat
no,
if
no, no,
something's
no, no,
applicable
no,
to
no, no.
them.
I wasn't saying that. I was saying that if there's a Democrat that is worth his anything, if he knows that Donald Trump is 100% guilty of doing something with a minor, then why? You can't tell me that they couldn't get him out. There's no
Are
way.
you saying release the files or like prior administrations, or are you saying like, given that there actually was this, they couldn't get him out? No, I mean you need to have Republicans
Well,
and the cabinet on board to get rid of the president. So
I
yeah,
just
we're
don't.
trying to, but you understand
With
that they're
everything,
not pushing
well,
hard enough from the right wing.
well, And believe me, I'm not for any of that. If he did something like that and it can really be proven, then yeah, sure. I say we take him out. I
Well
don't care,
then,
you
well
know.
then you
But
should be able to do it now. I mean, in of itself, him
you
saying that,
should. But that's
and
what I'm
in of
trying to
itself,
say.
him
Why
saying,
can't anybody?
and in of itself, him saying that he wants to prevent the release of the Epstein files is something that we can consider a reason to say that like this would implicate him in a manner in which you wouldn't want to support him, right?
Here's the deal. I'm not going to support anybody that's a pedophile. I'm not going to do that. But if he is a pedophile, it seems like that there would be somebody that's able to drop like a bombshell, and just haven't seen it.
So you understand that Donald Trump has been held civilly liable of sexually abusing a woman. They have
Yes.
been trying to
Yes.
cover up the Epstein files. So actively speaking, just because someone hasn't been put in prison doesn't mean that they haven't done this. For example,
Well,
has anyone been arrested in this country based upon the Epstein files?
yes and no.
No, since the Epstein
Except
files
for
have been released, has there been anyone here in the
well,
U.S. that's been arrested? The answer to
well.
that question is no.
How about
So then,
the
do you believe
girlfriend
anyone is guilty based upon? Do you believe that there was anyone guilty
She's.
based upon the release of the Epstein files?
Do I believe anybody has been arrested? No, I don't. No,
No. Do you believe that anyone was
but I
guilty?
don't know. Oh, sure. I mean, there's somebody
Okay,
that
so you
yes, I
agree that
believe
people
there's
are
people that did that.
guilty, but you also agree that people haven't been
I don't know
arrested.
who.
So just because someone hasn't been
Yes,
arrested or hasn't been held accountable for something yet does not mean that it is not something that they've done.
but you are telling us that you're saying that the president of the United States did it. I'm
Yeah,
saying that somebody has to be able to prove that.
yeah. There was a
And, it,
settlement
and
with the Epstein
it's,
estate.
but the settlement, I mean, that's not. Where's the? All right. So does it say exactly what happened?
Well, it demonstrates that there was enough evidence to indicate that this person was credible in making their accusations against Epstein. And if one of their
Right.
accusations against Epstein was that Epstein trafficked her to Trump, well, then I would say that that would be a credible accusation if the accusations against Epstein were deemed to be credible enough to warrant a
So you're
settlement.
saying that Trump. So you're saying that Trump settled with this person.
No, I'm saying that the Epstein estate settled with this person.
So now it's really not Trump settling with this person; it's the Epstein estate.
I never said it was Trump settling with them. I said it was the
Right.
settlement with the Epstein
What
estate every single
I'm
time
trying.
I've said this.
Right. But what I'm trying to say is that there's nothing that really leads back to Trump himself. Epstein
It
estate
does.
settled this, not Trump.
But you understand that the
I
accusation they
understand what you're
made
saying.
was
I
still
understand what you're
about
saying.
Epstein's
Yes.
behavior.
Sure. I understand Epstein's behavior is not very good.
Okay? But Epstein's
Okay.
behavior here is what they were specifically identifying. And if they identify that this claim is true about Epstein's behavior, then that means that Trump is implicated.
Well, not necessarily. I
It
mean, I don't say I
literally
believe
does
that.
because it says if the accusations against Epstein are credible, and one of the accusations includes Trump, and it's still made about Epstein trafficking them to Trump, that tells you the exact point there that obviously Donald Trump is implicated.
I mean, you're saying that like they've got a file that specifically says everything he did with some minor child. They might, but nobody has seen it. And you're saying the reason being is the Epstein estate settled. I understand. Maybe that was a great legal move, but I just don't see how there's nobody that can get to the bottom of it. Somebody has to have seen it.
Yeah, so you understand that we quite literally have got to the bottom of this. It's just you're unwilling to believe it.
No, I'm not. I'm not unwilling to believe it. It's just I've got to see something to believe. And
Yeah,
you're
I'm
saying,
giving you the
I
evidence.
know what you just said, but that evidence is. I mean, you don't see how it would be if I don't know, Parker's your first or last name, but say that
It's my
the
first name.
Epstein's. All right, Parker. Say that the Epstein estate settled, but your name was in it. Maybe you didn't do anything, and now people are out here
Yeah,
saying, "Well,
I understand, but they settled on an accusation specifically relating to Epstein's behavior, meaning that these claims were deemed to be credible.
Exactly.
So
Maybe
then
he
here's my
did do
point.
some of
Here's
those
my point.
things.
If
I'm
Trump
just
is
saying Trump.
if Trump is so innocent, why were they scrubbing the interviews associated with the allegations? And why haven't they released the conclusions associated with these 3 interviews?
I don't know, and I wish I did.
Think
I mean,
about
I
that,
wish
Vince.
that somebody should be able to get to the
That
truth
tells
of
that
all this.
that is guilty behavior. That's what I'm saying.
It doesn't look good, but I'm just saying that there's nothing that's came out.
But it's guilty behavior. Do you agree?
I do agree with that, but do you also agree that just because it's guilty behavior doesn't necessarily mean that he did it?
It doesn't
I mean,
necessarily mean that, but it's
right.
evidential points towards the fact that he did do this.
It does not look good. I give you that.
But it's
But
evidence
what I'm
towards the
saying,
fact that he's done this.
I don't. I really, God's honest truth, I just don't see him doing that. I can see that he
Okay,
could
well,
be
you can say
wrapped
that
up.
you don't feel like he would do this, but all the evidence indicates this. There's been 27 plus people that have accused him of sexual misconduct. If your belief is true, you have to believe every single one of them are lying.
Well,
Okay?
you have to believe. Well, now sometimes there is some bandwagon jumping going on. I mean, it is.
No, but do you
I
understand? You have
mean,
to believe every single one of the 27 plus women that have come out and accused him of sexual misconduct. You have
right.
to believe every single one is lying.
And yes, you're right. I would have to believe that.
And
That's
do you
true.
believe
And
that?
well, what I'm saying is, whenever I say bandwagon jumping, I mean if you get 2 or 3 people that will accuse him of something, it just gets easier and easier for other women to start coming out where he might have said something at the time. It wasn't considered to be sexually, I don't know, wrong to say, but now
We're
in
talking about
these
sexual
times, it
misconduct, and
is.
also, like, I'm sorry, but like, you can't just say, "Oh, some women already coming out is going to be evidence that more other women will come out." We're talking about 27 women, dude.
Yeah,
Why do you think
yeah.
every single one would be a liar? That's ridiculous to me. Why would you
No,
believe
it
the
shouldn't be.
pathological liar, the guy who's cheated on every single one of his wives, the guy that had 30,000 confirmed lies or misleading statements in his first administration, the guy that lied to you about the results of the 2020 election, right? Why would you believe that guy over 27 plus women that have come out and accused him of the same type of actions, sexual misconduct? Things that he's admitted to. He's admitted to grabbing women by the vagina without asking. He's admitted to walking into the changing rooms of
Wow.
naked women while they're changing without their consent, where 2 18-year-olds came out. So there were 4 girls as young as 15 years old in these changing rooms when Donald Trump would barge in. At what point will you see there to be enough of a pattern of behavior where you can call it out?
Well, I guess I guess I won't because what you said about that Billy Bush interview, he didn't say that he would just walk up to him and do that. He said that they would allow people to be able to do that if you're famous.
Someone allowing you to do something is not evidence that they've consented to it.
Well, I would disagree with you on that.
Wait. So because they don't prevent you from doing something, does not mean that they have consented to it.
Just because, well, I'm sorry, I sort of lost
If
you on that.
someone freezes down and they never have consented,
Right.
right? Do you think in that circumstance they consented?
Uh, I do not think that
They technically allowed it because they didn't prevent it, but they
that's right.
froze down and they didn't specifically consent. So in that
Well,
scenario,
they
it's
didn't.
non-consensual.
Well, they didn't specifically not consent.
Yeah,
I
but
mean, they
you
just.
have to consent. If you haven't consented, you haven't consented. That's non-consensual.
All right. How about if you? Okay. All right. I mean, I see what you're saying, and it doesn't look good for him on that part. No, it doesn't. But again, if it's so bad, somebody has to have the absolute smoking gun on him, and it's
They
just not come
do.
out.
They literally do. It's just that you won't believe it. Like literally, dude.
How?
There's
Well, I might
listen, dude.
believe it, but
There's
I'm
been
not
an
the only
entire
one.
unanimous.
I'm
Listen,
not
dude.
the only one.
There's been an entire unanimous decision of 9 people in a jury. All 9 jurors indicated Donald Trump did this in the civil court. The
Okay.
judge said that Donald Trump, in fact, raped E. Jean Carroll.
Well, yeah. I mean, this is a New York. I'm just saying.
You see what I
It's
mean?
in
You'll
New
come
York.
up with any excuse. You understand
I
that Donald
just
Trump's.
asked.
You
I
understand
was
that yes, it is a New
I was
York
asking.
trial. It is a
All
New
right,
York
all right,
trial
all right.
because that's where Donald Trump lived, and you understand that in terms of that situation, Donald Trump and his lawyers were a part of the jury selection process.
Yes. Yes, I understand that. But
Okay,
I'm
so
just what I'm getting at is you're telling me though, have, there is there has to be something other than what is. I have to really see something a little bit more, I guess, is
What do
what
you
I'm
need?
saying.
What else do you need at this point?
I don't know. I don't know. I
Exactly.
really
This is
don't.
what I mean. Like, you don't
I mean,
even know
I'm
what
being
you
honest
need.
with you. I'm
It
being
just needs
honest.
to,
I'm
and
being
it's like
honest.
some unbearable level of standard. Like, no matter what, it's going to constantly, you're going to move the goalpost. You need more.
I'm,
Like, if
I
you
don't
can't
know.
tell me what is enough, then how do you know what will be it?
Well, I mean, I could come out with some outlandish things. I mean, somebody just coming out with pictures, videos, everything else. I mean, yeah, sure, that happened. But I mean, I don't want to have to rely on just somebody having pictures or videos. I wish that somebody would come out, but I mean, I know what you're saying. People have said that. I don't know. I,
But you're going to make it
I can't get
impossible
it in
for
my head.
victims to be able to prove that they've done this. And you're essentially creating
I can see
conditions where
that.
you will never believe victims. And I think that
I
this is
can
such an
see that.
unreliable standard for you to be able to identify this, because you're essentially, if you don't believe any victims, going to be leaving so many people who have been assaulted out from public support, from general support of you believing in being there for them and validating them, and the fact that this is literally shouldn't have happened to them and that it's horrible. And instead you're contributing to a culture that is literally going to perpetuate violence against these victims, where it doesn't believe them, where it constantly limits them from being able to hold their abusers accountable, right, etc. Like, you understand that these things actively like harm victims.
Yes, I do. And I'm sitting here thinking about what you said. What would it take for me to believe? And I'm starting to get mad at myself a little bit because I see what you're saying, and I look back at I got twin daughters, and I wouldn't want anybody treating them like that. Um, I'm just saying the way he talks, I think, gets him into a lot of trouble. And I'm just being. I mean, he might say stuff that you don't agree with. He might say stuff that back in the day was okay. I'm not saying it's okay to say, but it was not frowned upon as much as it is now. I think that he still wants those days to be here. They're not. Uh, I I don't know. I guess that in a way, I'm giving a big benefit of the doubt by saying that he's all talk, and hopefully that's all it is. And I guess that's what I'm at. I guess that's what I'm believing, honestly, because once you start breaking it down the way you did, that it does look really, really bad. It does look like we've got our heads in the sand on this, and I can't believe that America is actually standing for this. If that's the case, it, I would hope that there would be somebody that would get him out. But like I said, I'm talking about even the Republicans. That's what I'm talking about.
I
I
would love
mean,
for
what
there to
did
be
JD
people to
Vance?
get him
What
out
did JD
too,
Vance?
but what you don't realize is that we have to be the ones that stand up to get him out. And if we cannot stand up to get him out, then they're going to be able to stay in these positions of power. My position is that it should be literally illegal for someone who's been held civilly liable of sexually abusing a woman or criminally convicted of sexually abusing someone for them to even run for president in the very first place. I think the whole idea that they should be even able to run for president of the United States is absurd to me.
Yes, I agree with you on that.
Okay, if you agree with me on that, that
Yeah,
means it would
I agree with you on that.
make
I agree.
Trump it would make it illegal for Trump to
You're
run
right.
for president then.
You're exactly right. But how many people would we be having come out accusing every candidate, and then how would we go about getting everybody either
Well,
prosecuted
I'm
or?
not talking about just an accusation. I'm talking about someone being held civilly liable, right, of sexual abuse or criminally convicted of sexual
Oh, okay,
abuse.
okay, okay. I get you.
Right?
I
And
get
this
you.
is something that's
I get
applicable to Trump. There's a court process in that respect. It's not just an accusation.
No, I know, I know, I know, I know, I know. But don't you think it would lead to more people getting just falsely accused? I'm just saying a lot of people would just come out just to try to
No, I
run.
actually don't think it would lead to more people getting falsely accused.
Okay. All right, man. Well, hey, listen, I just wanted to join in and say, just try to put my 2 cents in, but I appreciate everything. I
Okay.
really do.
Alrighty.
All
I
right.
appreciate you coming up. Alrighty, let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria. Listen to the TikTok screen. Miko, thank you so much for appreciating the $20. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Give some W's for them in the comment section right now. Thank you. That's amazing to hear. That's amazing to hear. There's one topic I'd like to discuss. What topic are you still held back on? In terms of that. That's great to hear that, Miko. Let's go into this next individual here real quick, everybody. If you're on YouTube, hit that thumbs up. If you're on TikTok, tap that screen. If you want to support me, as always, Venmo, PayPal, link tree in the bio, as well as the description of the YouTube, as well as you can support me over YouTube Super Chat. As always, everybody, I should be live for another hour and 45 minutes, everybody. We should be live for another hour and 45 minutes, just letting everyone know. Let's get this next person up here. Again, if you're on YouTube, hit that thumbs up. If you're on TikTok, tap that screen. Fonzie, thank you for the $5. Thank you very much. Exactly, and especially having the recordings of them as well is very uncommon. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
How do you like my screen profile?
How old are you?
26,
Do you support
January
Trump?
13th, 2000. Yes, I do.
Okay. And if the election were held today, Harris versus Trump, who would you rather vote for?
Trump.
Okay. I have a few people to think that we can move on to our conversation.